Hey guys, Max here, and in this video I want to talk about what I call the abstraction model, and more specifically how this model will help you outsource very large and important areas of your business with you spending about like 30 minutes per week. So how you can go from like spending 20 hours per week managing all your traffic sources, your paid media, your SEO, everything. How you can go from spending like 20 hours a week to like 30 minutes and still get better results and have more peace of mind. And so you can focus on other areas of your business that can add new revenue and new growth to your business. Now, in this video, I'm going to go through, the story of how I went from spending 25 hours per week, spending, I think between $60,000 and $100,000 per month on Facebook ads. And again, spending 25 hours per week working on the Facebook ads so that profit levels stay the same. How I went from that to getting the same results in terms of profits, but spending about 30 minutes per week on Facebook ads. Okay, and how I've done that by hiring the right person, but most importantly, gave them the right structure to grow and focus on the right results. So the first thing is I want to explain generally what the abstraction model is, and to do that I'm going to just use the coder example. So if you're not familiar with programming, it's basically what you need to do is you basically write a set of procedures. So let's say that you want to do like a timer app, okay? So you're going to have to write the little piece of code that puts like the numbers, right? And then you're going to have to write the little piece of code that changes the numbers. And then you're going to have to write the little piece of code that lets you change the intervals, okay? And so what happens when you write a program, what happens really quickly is that you become very overwhelmed by the amount of the length of your program. So like, let's say that you write the function for like the numbers change, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that takes like 2 pages of code, right? You talk in lines, but like let's call it pages if you're not familiar with coding. But then you write the other function, it's 2 pages, and then the other function, it's 2 pages. And so soon enough, you have one document of code that's long for like 10,000 pages, And then it's like, how do you maintain that and how do you edit that? There's no way. There's too much to worry about at the same time. So that's why in development you do what's called abstraction. So what you basically do is you create a function, okay, in a document, and then you basically name that function. And then you put that little page of code and then you remove it from the main document and then you send it to a subfolder, okay? And then all you do in the main document is you call that function. So you basically say like let's say that you can take your main document that has like 10 pages of code, and then by taking out the big blocks, you put them into small reusable blocks into other documents, and then in your main document, you just call these documents. So you say like, okay, run this function. And then the computer goes into this other document and runs it, and then it goes back. And then, so all you see is that page of code that commands these other documents. So the parallel, I'm not sure it's the best example to explain that, especially to a non-techie person, but at least for me, it's a good explanation. And the parallel is that in your business, when you start, you start to have all these areas where you need to do stuff. So like generating traffic. That's an entire area that can expand. You can take years taking courses on just generating traffic for your business. And then you have to learn how to create a funnel that converts and maximizes customer value. Then you have to learn how to do customer service so that your customers are happy, And then you have to learn about finances and see like how do you make sure that you don't get screwed financially. So you hire the right accountant and stuff like that, So that's a lot of things. And if you put all these things on your page, on your like your main document, it becomes too much. So what you need to do is you need to take these blocks of things and then put them into sub documents. So you only see like the small little thing, a little line of like what's the only stuff that you need to worry about for these things. So that's basically what you need to do with your business. So you need to abstract levels of your business. So let's say that you're spending 20 hours per week generating traffic like I did. then I realized that generating traffic is about like it's a $50 an hour. So there's no way to, because let's say I have only 100 hours in my week. If I don't remove some blocks and I put them into like the subfolder, I guess, of my business, there's no way for me to start doing more, $100 and $200 per hour tasks. So that's why it's important to abstract certain things. And so, for example, using this example with my Facebook ads, that's what I did. I hired someone, and again, I'm going to talk about this in a minute, but I put the right structure around them so that I kind of abstracted them, so that I'm only worrying about their pure results, and I hop in there to help them create better results, but they have the right structure around them to save me a lot of time. So that's what I want to talk about today. So let's say that you have an area in your business that you want to fully abstract. And I want to talk about how you should go ahead and do that. The first step is to, you have to set the right KPI. So what is a KPI? A KPI is like a key performance indicator, but it's basically just a number or two numbers or like three numbers max that will tell you how it is going. So let's say, like, for example, your customer service, okay? Like, what is a number, just one metric that will tell you if your customer service is doing properly, is doing great or not, without having to dig into it, without having to see anything? Well, I'm thinking of two right now, but really one. One would be like a simple satisfaction survey that you send to your customers. So like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much are you satisfied with your experience with your customer service? And then having that survey. And then I would just have to see the average satisfaction. And then if it's at 8 or 10, I look at it for 10 minutes per week. I look at the number, and boom, I'm done. I don't have to do customer service. I don't have to go in there and figure out if there's a problem or not, because obviously this metric guarantees that there's no problem for me. There's no problem with customer service, so why worry? So I'll just leave it there. So that's how customer service can be abstracted. Now, what would be the metric for, like, another example for like my Facebook ads? Well, for my Facebook ads, there's really two metrics. There's how many customers we got, and what's the average customer acquisition cost. So like, how much does it cost us on average to get that new customer? And so at the end of the day, if I can look at these two metrics, and let's say my maximum customer acquisition cost I want to pay is $45 per customer. That's all I want to pay. Well, let's say I look at my dashboard and it says, like, okay, on average we paid $43 last week and we got 1,000 customers or something like that. Then I'm like, great, I don't have to worry about this. I don't have to even look at the campaigns because the results are good. So you got to fix that, set that KPI, okay? And I just gave you two examples, obviously, but if you're doing other areas of your business, you can have different KPIs, right? The second thing that's very important is that you should implement for that KPI the proper tracking system. So like what I started using that I really, really like, it's called DataBox. So DataBox, I'll show you real quick right here. DataBox gives you super cool dashboards. So like, I have my laptop here. Just want to show you real quick because I'm too lazy to edit this video. But I want to show you real quick. So like, I just did this whole thing custom. So it tells me for Facebook ads, how many customers we got this month, what's the average CPA we paid, cost per action, and then tells me the amount of actions total, and then tells actually my Facebook ads manager's salary here, and that's a little calculation that I'm gonna share with you in a minute. But just to show you that if you have for each kind of areas of abstraction, you should have one of these dashboards. Now, the third thing that you need to do is, and it's a bonus thing, is you should align the compensation of that person that's going to manage that area. You should align that with the KPI. So what I did with my Facebook ads manager is I told him, listen, like, I'm going to pay you a fixed amount of dollars per customer you bring the company. So like, let's say, in this case, it was $48. So I told him, now, if you bring 1,000 customers in a month, and let's say you bring them at $40, I'm gonna give you whatever the difference is, I'm gonna pay that to you. So like, let's say he brings 1,000 customers at $40 each, I'm gonna give him the difference, which is $8, because I'm willing to pay $48. Give him the difference, $8 times 1,000. So it's gonna be $8,000. So for him, it's great because he's like, holy shit, man, if I give Max enough customers at a cheaper price, I can get paid, I can scale like to very high level, you know, very high income, like 10,000, 20,000. And for me, it's great because the only way he gets paid is if he meets my metrics. So this way, it's not only about looking at the dashboard, because if your employee or a contractor, their incentive, their compensation is not aligned with your KPI, you still have to do police work. Like you have to look at the KPI and say, hey man, like this week you didn't meet the KPI. Like let's do something about it. But then you still pay them per hour, so they don't care that much because they're like, well, you know, if this guy, like, if I have great results, he'll pay me the same amount as if I don't have great results. And if I give him great results, I don't even get a cut of that. So like, they're not that incentive to give you great results. But at the same time, if you connect the incentive with the KPI, then they're very, very incentive to give you the great result you want, and then you don't have to police them anymore. So that's why you can just look at the thing, and the results are going to be much better. So yeah, I talked about this, and this video is getting a bit long, but you get the idea. If you want to set that up, I highly recommend it. What you're going to find is that by setting that up, you just, not only your time is going to free up, but your mind is going to free up. And then if you implement all the steps I told you, you're actually going to probably get better results than what you were doing yourself, even if you're some kind of superstar. So I highly recommend that. And yeah, that's about it.